What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming back to another stream of Good Bad Man. This is stream number 56. Um, and we are continuing the stream painting. As you can see, we left off from our last uh thing. So we're on paint phase 2B, okay? So this is gonna be like a normal stream. We're gonna just paint, react to some videos. I'm gonna ramble on and rant, and hopefully somebody will join. Big guy 19,999 will probably join at some point. Hopefully. If not, that's cool. But it'd be really cool if we could get like one follower this stream. Just one. I don't think we've gotten a follower in like 10 or 11 streams at this point. But that's okay. We're gonna do this shit. Look at droid cam is working perfectly for once. Okay, I think we're ready. All right, so for wait, before I start, come on, man, we got to do good bad man stuff to check out. So this is it's number 50 for stream number 56. Let's throw it in the chat, pin it there. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's just quickly go over this. So this is just something that I started doing now where it's just a whole bunch of shit that I think would be cool if you've never heard of it and you want to check it out. Just like I like showing people stuff. So good bad man stuff to check out, number 56. Goddamn. Okay, so for artist, painter, visual artist, we have Becca Lennon Ray. She's really awesome. Got some awesomely trippy stuff on I follow her on Facebook. I'm sure she has an Instagram too. So check her out. For music, we got Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music by Outkast. I was blaring that shit this morning in the car. For movie, I'm actually planning on watching this today because I haven't seen it in forever and it just popped in my head. But Children of Men by Alfonso Cuarón is one of the coolest technically filmed movies I think ever made. If you've never seen it, check it out. And I'll just say there is multiple parts in the movie where the camera shot is a one shot scene where like shit's blowing up. I forget how long it actually is, but it is a completely choreographed one shot scene. It is one of the most impressive like film feats I think I've ever seen. Um and then for TV/YouTube, we got Jesse Michaels. He's a YouTuber. You probably have seen his stuff, but he does a show called American Alchemy, and he's really involved with the UFO community now, and he knows a lot of shit and a lot of connections. So I would check him out. And for book/magazine, we got Invisible Monsters by my favorite author, Chuck Palahniuk. I never know how to say his last name, but yeah, Invisible Monsters. Actually, I should say remix. Whatever. Either Invisible Monsters or Invisible Monsters remix. Check those out. That being said, let's get to the painting. Let's get to the um videos. So let's see. Let's start with Spawn Wave. See what he has to say about the Switch 2, since we did that yesterday.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Well, yesterday, Nintendo took over the internet after dropping the Switch 2 reveal trailer at 8 a.m. right away in the morning. And, well, there are a lot of things we could take away from that, as well as things now to look forward to. And we're going to go over all the fallout from that Switch 2 reveal trailer here today.
Also, as Any videos watched during these streams, the link will be put in the description at the end. And I shout out to all these creators that I'm watching. Also, I haven't said this in probably 20 streams now. I just want to say it, but I'll say three things. The reason I talk funny is because I have no teeth right now. Number two, I got the teeth taken out 2.5 months ago, all of them, because they were really bad. Number three, I am waiting for the phone call from the dentist to go get my teeth. So I am so excited. It's been a very long process, but I apologize if I sound funny, but soon, hopefully soon, I will be talking normal. But that is why, and why my face looks funny sometimes. All right.
Also, we're going to be talking about some software as a certain game was also shown off, which
Oh,
makes a lot of
well,
sense if you look
we'll
at the
finish
Switch
with these.
sales charts currently. And we also had a report coming out of Bloomberg around Sony and how a couple of their key studios actually
Why
had
did it
games
come out like
canceled.
that?
And some of these, I gotta be real, are just head scratching. So if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button, helps out a ton. And if new here to the Spawn Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, members to the channel do get Newswave early. If you would like to learn more about that, click the join button down below this video. And we're gonna start today with Shuhei Yoshida, as he
Oh,
did talk with Kinda Funny during like a podcast and went over all kinds of stuff about the PlayStation business when he was there technically, as of course he's left now. And part of that had to do with the Vita, him sort of reminiscing and also reflecting on, well, what went wrong with it? We can actually see this posted up. This was
what
posted
went
by
wrong with
Genki
it?
over on Twitter X, saying the main reason that Shuhei shared was development resources were split and they didn't have
Wait,
enough
is
studios to make games for two platforms. So they had to
wait, is Genki Austin Evans or I forget his name. I feel bad. But the other guy,
prioritize PS4 development. Now, they also went over some of the other
Ken.
reasons, like the memory cards, they're proprietary, which, yeah, pretty big mistake there. The back touchpad just not being very necessary, adding on to the cost of the system. The OLED panel itself on that initial run for the Vita 1000 with production costs, dev kit, etc., etc. But I do think the biggest thing is games generally define a console, and when you're struggling to make enough games for both because you are split between the
Let's
two,
try it
yes,
with
it's
this
going to
one.
make it difficult to hold up both at once. And it's very obvious that the PS4 really gained momentum and they shifted focus completely to that. And that's one of the reasons I figured they wouldn't attempt, that being Sony, a handheld again until the handheld could just run the same games as the home console. And I think we're just about there, which is one of the reasons why in a few years we will see Sony at least reintroduce some sort of handheld, most likely to go along with the PlayStation 6. Also, while all eyes right now are on April for the big Switch 2 blowout event that we'll get to here in a bit, it looks like we may have something else to look
What?
forward to from Nintendo next month. This was posted up over on
Oh
Fan
my
Force from
goodness.
PH Brazil and made the rounds very, very quickly, saying, thankfully, the February
Can't see where it is. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for following. Oh, dude, we got 19. Woo! Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. I was just saying I have not gotten a new follower in like the past 10 streams. Oh, baby, we're almost getting to 25. Thank you for following and thank you for following and stopping by. It's going good. Thank you. Um, yeah, so I just started streaming like a couple minutes ago, but basically I am a artist and a painter, and this is stream number 56. I'm just trying to stream. We watch videos. I've been working on this painting for a while. These paintings too. I don't stream every day, but I stream like pretty much like, let me think. I stream like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, Friday. Yeah, basically during the week. Sometimes on the weekend. But yeah, I usually do art or video games and watch videos and just talk about different, you know, different things going on. But usually there's really no there's no viewers. But I don't know, I'm trying. I'm trying. But um yeah, I like I said to everybody, I don't mind if you just pop in and stop by for a second, even if it's for like a second. Doesn't matter to me. It's awesome. How long have you been streaming? Do you also play games or just others? Yeah, yeah. So I started streaming. So this is stream number 56. I started streaming what, like 2 months ago? Yeah, like 2 months ago. And um yeah, I've been playing Path of Exile 2, Black Ops, pretty much anything that's piques my interest, but I've been really into Path of Exile 2 lately. I just finally got a streaming card thingy that'll work with my Xbox. So, um, that does remind me. I do need to do a gaming stream soon. But I've been so like into this painting after well, I just finished this one on stream. You should maintain your channel. How long do you are that's cool. What do you mean? Like maintain? How do I do that? I like post it to YouTube too. Oh, thank you. Streaming is definitely something that like has taken me a long time to um like understand how it all works. Like, oh, by promoting it. Oh, that is true. I don't promote it. I barely do. Um, yeah, I just don't know where to promote it though. Like I promote it on like my art Instagram and my art Facebook and stuff like that, but yeah, all like honestly, the followers that I have right now have just been completely organic. Like whoever ends up clicking into this, yeah, that like it, you know, that's how they found me. But I'm really trying to get to like 50, you know? Do you have anyone who's good at channel promotion? I do all this myself. Because I went to film school like years ago, like 10, 15 years ago. So I learned all the stuff about editing and all that shit, but like yeah, I basically just self-taught myself like OBS and all this shit and um it's actually been a lot of fun getting back into editing stuff, like my intro, my outro, my break screen, this background, uh, just all that shit is like a lot of fun to do. But promotion is definitely something I don't understand. My cousin was a streamer, but a game player. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, see, that's what I was gonna do originally, but like, I don't know. I just kept seeing, and I was watching so much YouTube, to be honest, and it would be just so many streamers, and I'd be watching for like an hour or more, and I was like, I could do that too. But nice wig. Is he still a streamer? Is it on Twitch? I'll look it up. So, whoops. Nice. Do you play games too? Nice. Damn! 844,000 followers? Holy crap. That is nuts. Does he still do it? Oh God. Why is it? Oh yeah, yeah. It looks like he still does it. Wow. Oh, so he plays Apex? Yeah, dude. His setup looks sick too. See, I gotta get a better face cam. I just couldn't use it. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I can't even imagine having that many. Here, let me make sure I follow you. Okay. He has a promoter. Do you no. I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest. I was wondering like how people actually like did it, and I was like, I'll just have mine be like organic for like getting followers, but I don't know, after 2 months and like almost 60 streams, it's pretty impressive how many streams I've done where it's been zero people watching. Like the entire, hour or two that I stream. Which is fine, but it is definitely a lot better, easier to talk when there's somebody here. I mean, most of the time I'm just talking to myself. Would you like connect you with what's promoted for your channel? Yeah, sure. That'd be freaking awesome. I would definitely appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would want to just do it like really slow. But yeah, that would be sick. Am I on Discord? I am not on Discord. Or actually, hold on. I feel like I should probably be on Discord because a lot of people ask me about that. Discord. I think I have one. Let me see. Oh shit, do I? I must have like made this account like a long ass time ago. Uh, New login, location detected. Jeez Christ. All right, hold on. I'll need to check my email. Okay. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Let me get my Discord open. Uh, Here, you know what? I'm gonna play this video just while I'm doing this in the background, okay?
Direct is just around the corner. This is not the first time that we've heard about the idea of a February Direct. I believe Brazil also had mentioned this previously, that there would be a Switch 1, I'll just say Switch 1 only Direct. And the thing with that, though, is technically that's also a Switch 2 Direct, since we know that these games are just backwards compatible physically and digitally, we assume, with the Switch 2. So anything you see there, I guess will even run better on the Switch 2. We're still unsure as to how all the fine details of backwards compatibility, but there are some loose ends we still need to tie up for the current system when it comes to something like Metroid Prime 4, that being a big one, and maybe, I don't know, ports of Prime 2 and 3, maybe that Wind Waker Twilight Princess collection shows up, or just any other number of random games I'm sure Nintendo has to throw at the Switch as it's on its way out to make way for the Switch 2. Oh, and good news for Steam Deck users who wanted to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This was shared over on their official account. It looks like the Steam Deck will indeed be supporting Final Fantasy VII Rebirth completely, as it is now fully verified, green check marks across the board. And I mean, this is great news in general. I know Rebirth is a game that certainly, we'll say, stretched the limits of the PlayStation 5 itself. It did, if you have it in performance mode, look like Vaseline was smeared on the screen. And then if you knocked it down into fidelity mode, it ran like it was underwater. So I am still curious to see how it'll run on the Steam Deck itself. And technically, this does lean into the idea of Square Enix getting Rebirth working on lower powered devices compared to something like the PS5 or the PS5 Pro, for example, which then also lines up with the idea of technically the Switch 2 getting a Rebirth port apparently next year, according to reports. And well, let's face it, especially recently, very recently, Nate's kind of been on it. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with that Nintendo Switch 2 reveal trailer, as people were losing hope there, especially after the day before, where people were wondering if Nintendo would make some sort of formal announcement that they would be revealing the system. They didn't. Instead, they really did shadow drop the Switch 2 reveal trailer, 8 a.m. Eastern time, which was would have been the same time as Newswave. I say would have been because Newswave did go up an hour earlier, which, I mean, complete accident.
Oh my God.
I meant to click 8 a.m. and accidentally clicked 7 a.m. for the scheduling. And hey, you know what? Sometimes you just get lucky with it. Gave a nice hour buffer there. But anyway, the reveal trailer itself, it has exploded online, as you would expect. Finally, an official look at Nintendo's next generation device, not one provided by somebody in a factory somewhere in China with AI backgrounds. This is the real deal. So we can take a look at some of the trailer here as we go over some of the key points. And this trailer itself, #1 trending, last I checked, had more than, I think, 11 million views at the time of this recording. So yeah, it seems to be
how many verifications do I gotta do
online. Now, the features confirmed in the trailer, we do have the big one, seemingly that mouse functionality. We can tell because they turned the Joy-Cons sideways on purpose, had the wrist straps and guards on there, and then they were racing all around the table, kind of showcasing the idea of them acting as a mouse, with that IR sensor also
we're opening Discord now,
rotating around the Joy-Cons, them transforming into the newer ones. So
where is it? Oh, yeah, it's updating.
I think we can. I think we look at that as that must be one of the key points or key functions that the Switch 2 will introduce. The idea of using it and playing maybe RTS style games, even, you know, just navigating the menu could even be just better in general. I'm curious if maybe one of the shoulder buttons at the top is touch enabled and you can use it as almost a scroll.
Sorry, I mean, okay, I'm in Discord now. 1 second. Okay. Okay, add friend. Okay, off and what? Send. Okay, I sent it to him. All right. Did you? Who's that? Okay, I sent him a friend request. Okay, thank you. What does streamer mode mean? Disable. Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. Okay, cool. Thank you, man. He didn't respond yet, but Okay. Dude, thank you so much, man. All right, I'm gonna keep playing this, okay?
Roll wheel, there's a lot of potential
Excuse
there.
me.
So we'll see. Again, Nintendo will be talking quite a bit more about this system in a couple of months. But, you know, the thing as I'm going through this, it's not really too surprising what we saw, right? Because of the leaks, and it mostly showed what we saw here in the video
Should
already.
put that up
Now, there
here.
were a few things that were off with some of the renders, but they were very close. Something that seems to be leaving people scratching their
Oh,
head right now, the C button.
oh, also, if you well, honestly, it wouldn't be this stream, but the next stream, at the end of it, your name will be at the end too. In my like outro thing. Oh, Hoffman 20. Hoff. Is it with the underscore? Oh, okay, hold on. No, it's okay. Wait, is it with the underscore at the end? Let me close that. Okay. Oh, paste. Oh, wait, there is nobody. Wait. Oh, whoops. Okay. Okay. That's cool, dude. No worries. All right, I sent it out. Let me put. Let me put Discord up here. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. I'll
Button.
keep
It's not
that like
there. It's
that.
blank in the video. Now, is that just how it's going to look? A blank square? I don't think so. I think in this case,
X.
Nintendo decided not to include that C button, or at least the cutout on that button, just to sort of keep it out of view until they're ready to talk about it fully. Because I do think it's going to be a major factor. And think about this: if we didn't know about that C button at all, what would we be talking about right now? We'd be talking about the mystery button that Nintendo did not acknowledge at all, has no markings on it at all. Like, and we'd be going into this big blowout direct, and I
That is
assume then
true.
they would tell us, oh, it's a C button. Here you go. It's going to transform further, and we'll engrave a nice little C here for you, and here's what it does. We also did see that second USB-C port that is on top, so we do indeed have one on the bottom, one on top, which until they show us maybe extra accessories or some creative, I guess, feature for it, I'm going to assume it's just, hey, if it's in tabletop mode, you can charge easier. That doesn't necessarily mean that we won't have accessories and stuff years down the road that even third parties.
Just tell him I refer you to him. For your channel. Okay, thank you. Should I put Martin Hund? Is that your name, Martin? I'm Sean, by the way. Here's my username. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. Oh, so I can make like my own like Discord thing with all the people. Okay, so I get it now. That's how you could chat with everybody. Okay. Friend request has been sent. Whoops. Huh. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that's add a server. Okay, I get it now. Okay, that's why everybody asked me if I have a freaking Discord. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Sounds sounds like a plan. Where am I at? I'm at a half hour right now. I usually stream for in the morning. I'll usually stream, I don't know, it depends. Sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours, but oh, okay, cool. Oh, cool. The messages pop up here too. It's a lot easier to use. Cool. Mm, cool. Oh, that's cool. It even saved my name like that. Should definitely edit my profile though. It's like my personal picture. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'll use my symbol. I think it's on here. Doobie doobie bop bop bop. Wow, I have so many programs opened right now. Let's see. There, fuck it. I'll do that after. All right. Oh, here, let me keep this going.
Attempt to introduce there. But at least for now, that's kind of what I'm envisioning it's for. But they did show the U-shaped kickstand. It does fold pretty much all the way out, so the system can go nearly flat, very similar to the Switch OLED kickstand. The curved dock also in view with the nice big Switch 2 logo on the front. And to close out, we do have more information coming to us April 2nd. You know, what's funny is that I think the Nintendo UK trailer was the first one that popped up and people thought it was February 4th and got real excited. Oh, okay, a couple of weeks. No, it's actually a couple of months. So, yeah, it is kind of a shame that we have to wait a bit longer to hear more about this thing because now we know the next step are just going to be a massive number of games, and the fact that Nintendo has been doing a lot of these ports and remasters, we have to assume they got some big time stuff ready to show. I don't know, like a big 3D Mario game, or maybe a new Mario Kart. Actually, you know what? We'll get to that in a bit here. First, though, we had some other details, and Nintendo will be doing the rounds again with this. So on their website, they have hands-on events that'll be taking place, and they did this with the first Switch. I actually went to one. I think it was in Washington D.C. I think I said that before. It was pretty cool. Went there and got a chance to play it. In this case, though,
If you can hear
over
that.
on their website right now, they have some of the venues and dates marked. So New York, Los Angeles, and Dallas will all be locations in the US. And then up in Canada, we have Toronto. So you can kind of see those here. Europe, Oceania, and Asia all also have venues marked out with dates. And it looks like it's running all the way up until June 1st, which has led people to believe that, okay, well, the hands-on experiences we assume wouldn't still be happening if the system was out, although I guess they could view it as maybe a marketing opportunity just to showcase to people in that area. But if we're going by this is all preview stuff, then I guess the system would most likely be launching at some point in June after the first, which would be the last event. It's important to note that the way this is going to work, it's no purchase necessary. It seems to be like a lottery. So when they do open signups, everyone can just throw their name in the hat, basically. Nintendo will go around, pick them out. I guess they're going to do it by venue. So maybe you just sign up per venue. And then technically, I guess at that point, if you sign up for all of them, if you can get there, you know, like fly out or travel or whatever, you can go to it. But I'll probably look towards the New York one, but I'm not really expecting to get in because I've seen what happens with something like even just the playtest for the Switch. The site crashed. What do you think is going to happen with the Switch 2 after seeing what that reveal trailer did on YouTube? Anyway, after all of this went down, Nintendo's stock did jump, actually went up to a 52-week high for the company, $15.77. Dr. Sirkin Toto described this saying investors were afraid of another Wii U situation where Nintendo tries to experiment or over-innovate but misses what users actually demand. So there is certainly some relief in the financial community about Switch 2. For this cycle transition, investors are hoping for a more iPhone-like iterative approach. Nintendo certainly delivered from that perspective. In after hours, the stock then dropped 5%, and I noticed that Machizuki said that investors there were hoping for something a bit weird or different, and it looks maybe a little too similar to the Switch. So all that's told me is investors in the market don't really know what they want. So there you go. Oh, and I'm sure the idea of the system selling out and being very, very difficult to get is on everyone's mind right now watching this, wants to pick one of these up. Well, it also looks like Nintendo, according to Bloomberg, is preparing behind the scenes to try to meet as much demand as possible in year one. This is posted up. This is over on My Nintendo News, citing Bloomberg, saying a new report suggests that Nintendo is very aware about the demand, saying they've prepared a supply chain network that will allow the company to sell more than 20 million Switch 2 units in its first year. Now, that is about 2 million, I think, above what the Switch 1 did in its first year. And it was still a hard system to get, but I think 20 million. I mean, it'd be nice if a company could they could just make 50 million. But
so much
there's a lot
when I
that goes
use
into
this
that
one.
factory lines, setting things up, logistics, parts. 20 million, I feel like, is a pretty good number to target year one. And let's face it, they'll sell all of them. Now, again, if you're trying to
Yeah, of
make
course.
sure you are at least available for pre-orders when they go live, it also looks like many retailers, their pages are going up to remind you when those pages are going up. Yeah, so Best Buy has one up. We have GameStop. Theirs is listed, and I'm sure many others will follow suit. So if anything, I would go around, drop emails that you can check consistently into those different submission forms so that you can be prepared when pre-orders go live, which I would assume is going to be right
Gonna be
at
very
the
soon.
presentation, April 2nd, since that's when we'll find out about the release date as well as the price point. So big stuff here right now for the Switch 2. A lot of excitement. Just got to wait a couple of months for the big presentation from Nintendo. But in the meantime, don't be shocked to see a bunch of third parties start dropping that Switch 2 logo in their trailers.
Yeah, of course, man.
Next up, I did want to quickly touch on a game that was briefly shown during that Switch 2 reveal trailer, and that is a new Mario Kart game. Now, when I was doing the reaction for it, I kind of jokingly was like, oh, look, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But then as it's going through, it's like, okay, well, no, this looks like a new Mario Kart game. Sure, we'll just say Mario Kart for now, because we're still trying to figure out what it's called. And this is very similar to what Nintendo did when the Switch was originally shown back in 2016, where they showed off-screen footage of things like a new 3D Mario game, they showed a new Splatoon game, and they didn't really discuss it much until their big presentation a couple of months later. Seems to be the same road they're taking here, Mario Kart. But like, here's quick shots of it here, and some of the big things that were pointed out, this appears to be a new track, Mario Bros. Circuit, and Donkey Kong in particular. Their character design has changed. It looks to be more from the Super Mario movie. And the big thing that people honed in on here and were like, hold on a minute, this could be big time for this game. There's like 24 starting lines. True. And now people are wondering if they've doubled the number of people racing on a track at any given time. Almost like we're playing Halo, big team battle, almost like big kart battle, big kart racing. Like, there's a lot of cool things they could do here with that many people in one race. And that does kind of make me then think that would indeed be a Switch 2 exclusive. Yeah. Because you figure if they were going to do a Mario Kart game like that for the Switch, they would have already done it. Although I guess one of the best games you can launch with and then also still have cross-gen is Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart 10. We still have to figure out what it's going to be called, because apparently Mario Kart Tour, the phone game, is 9. X. And the number, I think, is kind of thought up. Maybe we'll just call it something completely different, right? Just an actual subtitle or something with Mario Kart. Nonetheless, this makes a lot of sense. It's the best-selling game on the Switch currently. It's well known. It seems that one out of every like two people,
feel like a new Smash
have
Bros.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So that's what you're gonna.
I think a new Smash Bros. On the Switch 2 is gonna be sick, because I think they'll integrate that whole thing. So it's like it's like a whole different thing with like the controls.
A show. Now, because it was so quick and flashing on screen and being off-screen footage, I'm sure there are many people who saw it was like, oh my gosh, great, it plays Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But again, closer examination, you'll see it as just a brand new Mario Kart game, and that's pretty exciting. It's cool to see that at least be shown, because for a minute there, it really did look like they weren't going to turn that Switch 2 on at all, so at least they showed us something. Again, we'll just have to wait a bit longer to see some of the big titles and find out what exactly the thing's launching with. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about a couple of games that appear to have been canceled at Sony, with 2 studios in particular. And I gotta say, I read this report. I can't believe that this is, I mean, it's borderline devastating, especially for me anyway, with one studio in particular that I think has a ton of talent. And it's some malpractice almost going on at Sony right now. Anyway, this is coming from Bloomberg and Jason Schreier, so you know the sourcing's good there. We can see this posted up, where they say the games at Oregon-based Bend Studio and Texas-based Bluepoint Games were both live service projects designed to draw recurring revenue from players. We know about the live service push from Sony right now. Not shocking to hear, but again, kind of disappointing in this case. A company spokesperson confirmed the cancellations. In a statement, the spokesperson said the 2 games were canceled following a recent review, and that Sony will continue making both online and single-player games. By the way, this completely reminds me of what happened with Last of Us Factions 2 following a recent review. Interesting. Okay, so all I can assume is that they realized, that being Bluepoint or Bend Studio, that they would be focused in on this live service game completely. Wouldn't be able to do much else because they'd have to continue updating these things, or maybe the gameplay or monetization loop just wasn't there. Now, we can see this say, quote, Bend and Bluepoint are highly accomplished teams who are valued members of the PlayStation Studios family, and we are working closely with each studio to determine what the next projects are. Okay, so it does not appear that Bluepoint and Bend are being shut down, so that's at least good news there, silver lining. But if you're wondering what exactly Bluepoint was working on, as Bend Studios seems to be an unnamed live service game, this is from Jason Schreier over on Blue Sky, saying, fans have long wondered what Bluepoint has been working on for the last couple of years. I can report it was a live service God of War game. What is going on? A live service God of War? Were they going to, did they look at Ascension and go, you know what? Needs a battle pass. Then we can go to the next level. Because you think God of War live service, immediately God of War multiplayer, but I just don't. The thing that worked really well with the past 2 God of War games is its narrative experience, and that leans in heavily to it being a single player game. High quality single player game, right? And that's the thing here. I just don't, they were.
All right, give me 1 second. I just gotta run to the bathroom. I'm gonna throw the break on right now. sorry about that. Had to go drain the snake. All right, get back to some painting.
Running support apparently on God of War Ragnarok from 2020 to 2022.
Oh shit! I'll watch you later if you're still streaming. All right, thank you for all the help, man. Thank you for putting me in contact with the other guy too. Your name will be on the next outro. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
And then 2022 to now, they're working on this live service God of War game up until the other day when it was canceled. That's what Bluepoint's been doing since Demon Souls. Why is it like there's so many other things they could have been doing, and this was it.
That is weird.
I would have even preferred them to just be doing a remake or something. They could have remade Legend of Dragoon, and I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. All right, cool. Let's see what they can do with that. It seems strange for Sony to pick up Bluepoint, bring them into the family, and then be like, okay, God of War live service game, that's the one. For a studio that's known to do some incredible remakes and remasters, even letting them do an original game, it's just baffling. But I guess going back years and years, this would have been like a Jim Ryan decision. But Herman Holst, I mean, he's running the show right now, so a lot of it's going to fall back on him, and
that's
not a great look in this case. So the other problem, it's not necessarily the lost money, it's lost time. If they're going to start working on new projects now, guys, they might as well start working on PlayStation 6 games, and, well, we'll see them in 4 or 5 years with their new project that hopefully makes it out the door this time. And before we go to the comment of the day, we'll take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, which is Game of the Year madness. We can see it is Stellar Blade against Silent Hill 2. It looks like Stellar Blade is taking it 53% to 47%. Stellar Blade moving on, actually. So that's another one I think to watch throughout this tournament. Stellar Blade has obviously a lot of fan interest behind it right now, but I kind of thought Black Myth Wukong had that too, and that fell to Indiana Jones. So it kind of feels like I'm putting these polls up, and I legitimately at times I have no idea who's going to win. So it's actually been a really, really interesting bracket this so far. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from 14, who says, Newswave is an hour early today. Threw me off a bit thinking I was late for work. Yeah, I don't know. Again, the clicking, it's put it up an hour early. It was strange stuff, certainly, but just it won't happen again. Just that one time where the Switch 2 may have been revealed. So who knows? Coincidence, I guess there. But
yeah, right.
Next time, maybe we hear about a direct or something. Maybe it goes early by accident again. We'll see. But
they're definitely
don't
waiting
worry,
for
I
him
won't throw
to
you
post.
off. Hopefully. When it comes to work-related scheduling, I know people tell me they set their clock seemingly to Newswave unless there's daylight savings time, which throws everything off again. But don't worry, we'll be back 8 a.m. Eastern today, and then pretty much the rest of the time going forward. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything
I liked
we talked about here today. If you missed yesterday's Newswave, I'll leave it up here in a card. Or maybe you wanted to see some of my initial react.
All right, so that video will be the description and link will be in the. This video and link will be in the description. All right, let's see. What do we got? Dad caught staring and beach fight breaks out. Yeah. Damn, what was that one? I wanted to come back around. Shit. Come on, YouTube roulette. Work better. What is going on with Brad Pitt? Oh my god, every time I see something, I'm like trying to get back to it. It's crazy how this algorithm works. Like, you just keep clicking and like what it keeps showing me is interesting. Wait, did Elon admit it? Hold on. I watched that Asmongold one earlier. Oh, actually, no, let's watch this.
In hip hop, being able to rap is only half the battle to becoming a legend in the industry. Alongside opportunities having to come to you at the right time, you also need to do whatever you can to keep the public on your side. A big part of that is meticulous image management, because if you start to come off as a lame, corny, or otherwise involved in clout chasing, then no number of classic records, evident aptitude for rap, or even platinum albums can save you. And due to neglecting this side of the rap world's inner workings,
I don't
what
know,
should
the
have
game
been one
kind
of
of
the most
seems
influential
autistic or
Cali
something.
rappers is now literally crying out for his respect that would have been his.
It's easy for me to give my flowers to Kendrick and YG and Ice Cube and say I love and miss Snip and do all of that. And I get left out of all the conversations. I get left off the murals. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm just trying to stay alive to see my daughter walk down the aisle. And that's it.
It's your boy Louaista, and this is the story of the game. A middle-aged rapper who still acts like a teenager. After recovering from a near-fatal shooting that led him to being in a coma for 2 days, Jayceon Taylor morphed into the game. Once he studied classic rap albums while recovering from his wounds, the game set out on his own hip-hop journey that led him to become a superstar signed to Dr. Dre. But even as he got everything that he had ever wanted, it has never felt like peace was an option for Game. Throughout the years, his career has been defined by beefs and controversial impulsive decisions that threatened to destroy his career. Despite the fact that at every turn, he has insisted that he isn't a man who seeks problems.
I don't fuck with niggas, I don't battle niggas, I don't beef with niggas, I don't start shit. Unless I hear my name or unless they're calling me out, then I'm coming.
Capable of loving
Unless I
someone
hear
one
my
minute
name.
and hating them the next, the rash decision-making of Game has been a part of his narrative for a long time. And as time went on, he's even acknowledged it and at least tried to own it. I work off how I feel at the moment. That's why everyone thinks, oh, Game is whack. Oh, he changes his mind. He told Hip Hop DX. No, we all change our mind. That's why we're just in the spotlight. So you can get locked onto my decisions and me being very opinionated, but if I'm feeling a certain way, that's just how I'm feeling. I'll be very vocal
he's
about
bipolar,
it. If I
basically?
don't feel
Oh,
the same
fuck.
way tomorrow, I will say that. Somebody might say I'm bipolar because I always change my mind, and I
That's
am.
funny.
So if my bipolar is attacked, then fuck it. That's me. As a young man like he was when he came into the industry, the occasional rash decision or contradiction is maybe easy to
Where's
understand.
Big Guy?
But now that he's 45 years old, people are a lot less charitable and feel that it is ruining everything he built, or at the very least, stopped him from progressing to where he should have been. The Game is a weirdo and has been since he came into the game. He has zero loyalty. He turned his back on 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, and now Kendrick Lamar. This is the same guy who was signed to Jimmy Henchman. I've never understood why the Game was able to rise up to the level we expected him to. He is disruptive to his own success. Game been going outside since 2006. If you're wondering how he built this reputation, it goes all the way back to the earliest days
Gotta
of
be
his
50
career.
Cent.
And by now, his errant behavior has meant that he's pretty much alienated every single person that's ever helped him out back then. Before we get into chapter 2, I gotta tell you guys about today's sponsor, Rocket Money. Now, managing your finances can sometimes feel overwhelming, but Rocket Money makes it really simple. Now, it's said that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription that they're not using each month. That's where Rocket Money comes in and helps you find those hidden charges. It does this by showing all your subscriptions in one place and even helps you cancel the ones you no longer need, all in just a few taps. Rocket Money isn't just about subscriptions, however. Their dashboard gives a clear view of all your expenses, helping you create personalized budgets and track spending trends. Plus, they'll even try to negotiate lower bills for you, essentially taking on customer service so you don't have to. It's financial wellness made easy. With over 5 million users and 500 million saved in canceled subscriptions, Rocket Money is helping people save up to $740 a year. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and start reaching your financial goals today at rocketmoney.com/Lou. I'm gonna leave a link for y'all in the description box down below so you can easily click it and sign up for free. I want to say thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into it. When the Game was initially trying to crack into the industry under Dr. Dre's Aftermath label, he found himself teamed up with his other major protege in 50 Cent. Soon, he was aligned with G-Unit, and for his part, 50 did what he could to mold Game's raw rhyming spitting talent into something marketable.
I went to meet Jimmy. Jimmy was like, he played me Game's record. Game was in the studio with Dre for over a year at that point. He said, yo, what you think about it? I said, no, he can rap. I said he's a great rapper. He's just not a good songwriter yet. He said, if you fix it, I'm sure that everything is good between, you and Dre and everything is good. And I'm like, okay, that's nothing. I'll fix it. Now, I only worked with Game for 4 days. The 4 days that I worked with Game, I muted my vocals, man. On documentary special, Higher, Church for Thugs, Hate It or Love It. And when he rocked on it, he did it. He nailed it.
From there, he became a member of 50's crew alongside Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and their Dirty South representative Young Buck. Back then, that trio was so loyal to 50 because he was essentially their meal ticket, and so they adopted all of his beef at a moment's notice. But the Game didn't see it that way, and publicly said that he was cool with people like Fat Joe, among others. Unsurprisingly, 50 Cent would take this as disloyalty, and soon they were throwing shots back and forth on radio.
Somebody asked him where Game still with G-Unit. He said across the street around the block. He said next album he ain't doing nothing for you. You gonna sell like 500,000 copies.
Thank you, man.
That's what he said.
The first 3 records he put out, I'm on them. West Side Story, How We Do, Hate It or Love It. Those are just 3 singles today.
Can't wait till this fucking thing is like got the base painting on it.
From there, things just kept getting messy, with neither man refusing to back down, and Game now no longer armed with the machine that made him a megastar.
I wanted to be on Dre's level, on Eminem's level, and I wanted to be respected as that. I don't think 50 respected me in that aspect. I think he wanted me to be a G-Unit soldier, which I am not.
Over time, things just kept getting worse, until they erupted outside of Hot 97 in a hail of gunfire.
Well, a member of 50 Cent's entourage is recovering today from a gunshot wound. The 24-year-old Los Angeles man was reportedly shot in the leg last night while in the lobby of a Manhattan radio station.
We were in New York. We didn't have cars. We just hopped out of cabs and we went up there trying to, diffuse something and talk to a guy that didn't want to talk. He remained upstairs in the radio station and sent security down.
Police say a group was exiting the building. They were leaving and they started to argue and someone pulled a gun. 50 was not injured during the incident. Victim is in stable condition. No arrests have been made.
Although it was initially reported that 50's ally was injured, Game's friend was shot. And rather than back down, he kept pushing to the point that amid a hail of diss tracks and an entire G-Unit movement, Game showed up at 50's crib.
Please just let 50 else, man. See that, man? That's the feds, man. They looking for us, man. We gonna bank this left, though.
That's fucked up. I didn't know that happened.
I'm in a hoodie. It's cold outside.
He even rapped about it, declaring, rolling through Connecticut in a stolen minivan, pulled up to his house. I don't see many men. Matter of fact, I don't see any men. One plainclothes cop, call him Lieutenant Dan. Later, he brushed it off as if it was just a little misstep.
You and your homies actually went out to his house in Connecticut?
For sure.
No one was there though, right?
Police was, I didn't know no one was gonna be there. 50 wasn't there, obviously.
That's what I'm saying.
But it was people there.
Right.
Like groundskeepers, security at the front and all that shit.
That's so weird.
It was there. But we was able to do kind of get.
Thank you. I'm in Massachusetts, United States. Where are you?
Get on the property and do what we wanted to do.
Why'd you decide to go that far? Because things could have ended badly. Someone could have gotten killed.
The thing about me is that, like I said, I'm not one of those ill-prepared guys. Like when I do something and when I'm gonna do something, I think it out, and I know the limits that I'm gonna go to, and my worst case scenario is always death. Right?
He brags about being calculated and not ill-prepared, but he showed up to an empty house looking for 50, LOL. Despite how volatile it was, it initially seemed like the pair had squashed the beef and even staged a full press conference to bring the fighting to an end.
I just want to apologize on behalf of myself, 50 Cent, and to the fans, the radio stations, our labels.
That sounds like you got
I'm almost ashamed to have participated in the things that went on the last couple of weeks.
In the shadow of the untimely death of Biggie, today marks the anniversary of his death. We're here today to show that people can rise above even the most difficult circumstances, and together we can put negativity behind us. I feel like this is an opportunity for people to see us make peace.
That's
but
crazy,
even though
man.
This should have been the
I don't
end
remember
of the road,
50 Cent
the shots
ever doing
just
that.
kept coming. Like this public diss in 2008.
Anybody in here got that TOS shit? I do. I bought it on accident. I thought it was Michael Jackson off the wall. Hey, yo. Fuck 50.
Are you from? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said something else.
We ain't got that whoa, whoa, whoa. We ain't got that shit. I know when 50 seen the sound scan, he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, that nigga's a clown, B. So Young Buck is going down. My prediction, just like that one, my prediction is that Lloyd Banks will be going next. But Tony Yayo, he gonna ride it out with his butt buddy for the fucking duration.
This sort of flip-flopping is what became commonplace for Game. And after being its first victim, 50 was the first one to explain the issues with his former G-Unit soldiers' mindset.
That's my issue with Game is I don't know what happened with him, period.
I felt like when that whole thing happened, because I interviewed him after, he felt so hurt. He really looked up to you.
How could you have an assessment on a person who's flip-flopped their entire career?
I don't have an assessment. I just know.
I watched it go one way. He almost bipolar. If you watch it, like the way he does things, like he'll do it like he's extremely emotional, then it goes to extremely aggressive, and does something else. Like, and then you go, okay, well, maybe this was his interpretation of what the culture is.
Over time, this just kept happening. Because after airing 50 out at a concert just 1 year prior, Game was now back to saluting him again. For 50, I'm just gonna apologize to him, just as a man. It has nothing to do with music or beef, or nothing like that. It ain't about being the bigger man. He can take it and say, Game is apologizing, Game's a sucker. He's apologizing, I'm apologizing for me to him. To Dr. Dre, to Jimmy Iovine, to Eminem, to all of the fans. Now, in both his retellings of stories of that era, and when 50 runs into trouble today, Game seems completely incapable of finding out which side of the fence he sits on. Such as when he reflected on 50 getting heated about himself and Lloyd Banks taking a picture in Dubai.
I don't know. I think we getting to a point where we're gonna have to assume 50's not a happy guy. I don't think he meant to shit on 50 by taking the picture. I think he just saw a nigga that he came up with and created music with and created a bond with, and it was
he's definitely bipolar.
Picture. Like, again, 50 gonna be mad about something anyway, so I didn't give a fuck, and I doubt that Banks did.
But when it comes to 50, it's been clear for years that the Game is never going to fully know where he stands. And because he doesn't, neither can the hip-hop world at large who are following his actions. Yet, while his animosity for 50 is understandable in the sense that he had to carve out a career for himself from the ashes of what he once had, what makes a lot of sense are his issues with Dr. Dre, which have put untold strain on what should have been a fruitful mentorship. When Game first signed to Aftermath, it seemed only natural that he was Compton's next great hope. Complete with his NWA tattoo, he was the perfect vessel for Dre to help and try to put his coast back on top. But when the fallout with 50 Cent occurred, Interscope, the parent company of Aftermath, had to choose sides. At the time, there was no way they were going to let go of the superstar that 50 had become. This left Game to find his own deal on Geffen and leave Dr. Dre behind, at least in terms of being on his label. This was obviously a hard position for Dre to be in, but at times, Game seemed to get why things had to play out the way they did.
Because he financially and infrastructurally, he had to take sides with who Jimmy took sides with.
Which is 50.
Which was 50.
Okay.
And so it made sense because that's where the bulk of the money was being made. And so at that point, you didn't want to piss 50 off because he was the breadwinner. So yeah, everybody chose sides, but I did the doctor's advocate, and no one thought it was coming out. Dropped it off in every club. I walked in every club. I bought bottles in every club, and I made One Blood crush shit.
It was an event.
So by the time I got back to the West Coast, they were begging me to finish the album. And that's where me and 50's relationship really went left, because he didn't.
Are you in the U.S. too?
That I was getting from the building.
Because of this, he generally led with a positive outlook on what was handed to him by the doctor.
Just because Dre wasn't on the production side of, you know, out of my second and third album, which I'm glad that he wasn't, because I was able to show that I was a dominant force on my own. Doesn't mean that I didn't talk to Dre, or, you know, me and Dre wasn't, you know, had the same relationship. Dre always told me,
I don't think
he
I'm
was
gonna watch
like,
this whole video.
no matter what happens, no matter what is said in the media, me and you are always gonna be the same as we were the last time we had an in-person conversation. Even still.
If you want to watch the rest of this video, I'll put the link down below. But shout out to Louaista. But I don't want to take his whole video. Let's see, what else have we got going on today? Boop, bop, boop, ba-da, ba-da, boop, bop. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Star Slipper. All right, what do we got? Man, Drake is suing Cenat.
Alright, with this Drake that y'all are telling me about, can I see the link, please?
Damn, he's fucking
I'm scared.
yelling.
What's going on, bro? Let me see what's going on. Let's get to this Drake. I don't know. Drake alleges in a lawsuit that UMG permitted content creators such as Cenat, Zia's No Life Shack, RDC Gaming, and Cartier Family to monetize reactions to Not Like Us without enforcing copyright claims. He claims that the lack of enforcement enabled the spread of defamatory content.
No, it was just a good song.
Generating profits for both UMG and the creators, prioritizing revenue over Drake's safety.
What? What a bitch.
Twitch streamer Cenat posted a 20-minute video of his reaction to the recording on his YouTube channel, which has 11.6 million subscribers. The video's thumbnail depicts the image. As of the date of this filing, the video has over 9 million views.
Ooh.
You're getting sued. Wait, why am I in this shit? Wait, hold on, I gotta be, what the I'm getting sued? Nigga, this night I was told to stay on stream. Y'all niggas is cat, bruh.
That's fucked up. I bet they told him to stream too.
Oh, I'm good. All right.
Wait, what happened?
Right. You're not getting sued. Okay, so explain to me if I'm right on this. Okay, is he just using... Okay, hold on. The Cartier Family, whose YouTube channel has 1.44 million subscribers,
what is
posted
that?
a video depicting the image of using the recording. As of the date of this video, Twitch streaming No Life Shack has 14.5. YouTube is
that's
so
the fucking...
So he's basically using examples of like us reacting, and it's getting more attention of the claims within the song.
What?
And UMG did not copyright it, meaning that like we're earning money while all this is going on. Is that what's being said?
Oh, I see.
So he's just using us as a...
So he's saying that UMG didn't put in a copyright for any of the people that were reacting to it, I guess? Which, aren't they allowed to do that? Interesting. Freaking thing just went all the rap. Alright, what is Charlie have anything new? Hold on, I want to see, what was Elon's thing about Path of Exile? Did he end up responding? I don't remember. Man, that fucking Cybertruck, that's so weird. Alright.
I knew it.
That's a sick intro.
Knew it. I have friends who are unemployed playing Path of Exile all the time, and they're not close to this guy's
Yeah,
level.
dude,
And then Elon Musk,
same
who's like
here.
a businessman doing all day somehow, supposed to be able to be like the top player of like one of the best players in the world.
Time of playing video games. At one point, I was, maybe one of the best Quake players in the world.
You're actually
come
a
on,
world-class,
bro.
incredible video game player.
Yeah.
Paragon board and the build, you're also an innovator there.
Yeah, I've played a lot of video games.
You think about like StarCraft, any game where a lot of people are playing. To rise to the top, you have to be exceptional, period, as a human being.
Yeah.
How does Joe Rogan know about StarCraft?
Are you in the top 20 in the world or the top 20 wow, in Diablo?
That's retarded.
In Diablo, yeah.
Into space, making e-vehicles, starting a new department of the government. I actually let myself think maybe he actually is an alien because there's just no way.
No, he's just rich and probably knows how to fucking.
Obviously, he's not.
Oh yeah, true.
So let's start off with some.
There's no way the guy with the most money in the world would pay someone.
Elon Musk's character is currently level 97.
That's fucked.
AKA rank 12 on hardcore. That's permanent death mode. Trading. Let me try to give you a quick understanding of how hard it is to get to that level. 2 weeks into the league, when people are playing the game, literally they're staying
On
up
hardcore
40 to 50
too,
hours
of all
without
things.
sleeping, only
There we
playing
go.
Path of Exile, and they are the most try-hard guys in the world.
Yeah,
the highest
dude.
ranked player on the hardcore.
You would
trading
have to be doing
was
it
level
constantly.
93. Okay, and you're thinking about yourself, that's kind of close to 97. Every time you level it up, it becomes exponentially harder to gain experience. A lot harder and a lot harder. Okay, so these players, to get to 97, have to be playing the game every day for the majority of their day. Currently, what is their highest ranked player?
Going from like 93 to 97 probably takes more time than from 0 to 93. I'm guessing. That's usually how that works.
They're level 97, same as Elon Musk.
They just
so, I mean,
compounds.
he effectively has been playing, pretty much just doing nothing except playing Path of Exile. So let's just go over some of the things that happened. So right away, we see Elon zone into his hideout, which is your area you do end-game content
Did he play the game live? I never thought he would.
from. And he opens...
Then it's like, it's gonna be so obvious. Unless he like...
And then he leaves a fucking chaos
lessons
orb,
from
I
the guy
think.
who actually played it for him.
up his bank, and he goes to a tab called Elon's Maps. What?
That guy Elon, his stuff, which isn't me the player,
Which immediately is a little bit of a red flag, because I don't know why you would refer to yourself in third person, but okay, he does that. Elon Musk didn't play Path of Exile 1. In Path of Exile 2, maps are actually called waystones. And he never actually refers to them as maps. He calls them...
Play another round here. This is a hard level. Waystone.
So it's just kind of weird that he's, again, called his tab Elon's Maps. So almost like someone who's a Path of Exile 1 veteran, you know, is kind of making that tab and be like, Elon, you know, there's a tab there called Elon's Maps. Grab your map out there. I've rolled them all for you. They're nice and easy. He then proceeds to walk up to his map device.
I don't even know what that is. I haven't even gotten to that part yet.
The first thing you learn upon getting to the end game is how to operate this map device. You're going to start off at a node, and then from that node, you can go to adjacent connected maps. Now, Elon, he's trying to click.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
He's just clicking a map repeatedly, trying to access it. He was not eligible to enter that map.
What the fuck, man?
This is like why I never thought it would go live with it. If you're 97 in this game, if you're playing it for that long, non-stop for a month, and you start, how do I navigate the map? It's like...
Yeah.
Understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
Anyone who's level 97 is, and you know, we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. You why just like sitting there like some sort of geriatric old man clicking this node, expecting something to happen, and then he finally kind of gives up after a while, and then realizes his mistake. We then get a look at his inventory.
Need I remind you, by the way, Elon Musk's Elden Ring build, almost overburdened equip load. He's got a sword seal on, 68 int, 31 vigor. I would have one-shot him in PvP, and then some. I could one-shot 5 Elon Musks. Fat rolling, 3 Ashes of War on, even though we can only use 1 at a time. 2 shields to do the same thing. That's pretty rough. If you're high enough level to have this much int, you probably shouldn't use a source seal. Or shield as a mage. Mages can use shield just fine. You can still parry stuff. It's always bothered me how people think that Elden Ring works with classes as they do in other RPGs. They really don't. You're just a character and you have stats. Shields are good tools, no matter what class you are. So, and 3 weapons could also be justifiable, although, well, it's a staff on your right hand and 2 shields on your left. That doesn't really make sense, because these two do the same thing. That's the thing. I've never ever used this sword. I don't know what it is. If it's a rapier or something. And then Moonveil. Anyways. It's a build. It's a giga build. It's like, it's again, these are the people we've been clowning on for the past like year of Elden Ring. And granted, most people don't have good builds, but Elden Ring, the fact that he would post this, equipment load will be lower if fast roll is needed.
If you're an efficient player, you're going to clear a map, you're going to loot the valuable items, you're going to go in, and you're going to take those items, and you're going to basically look through the good ones, keep the good ones, list them up for sale, and then truck away the trash ones. It's almost like he has no understanding as to like what items are or what you're even supposed to do with them.
If he wants to pretend to be good in games, he chose the worst game. A trademark of Diablo, and probably I'm gonna go ahead and make an educated guess that also Diablo, Path of Exile by extension, because they're basically the same game. Knowing what is good gear in Diablo 2 at least is impossible unless you know the game and you've been playing and you've been talking to people online. It's not glaringly obvious. A weapon that is like legendary status might be dog. A grey weapon that you can use at level 3 might be the best hat in the game, like Shaco, a hat in Diablo 2, which is a low-level hat with high like
I forgot to look at
magic find and 3 sockets, which you can put gems into to give more magic find. So like a piece of, it looks like a piece of, but it's like one of the best things in the game at some point in your like cycle. For anyone who has played this game, are gonna be like, what the f is doing? Like, this has to be a joke, right? You can't fake this.
Meditation before battle is always good.
And he starts killing monsters. He starts obliterating monsters with his character. But what becomes obviously apparent.
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Is like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs. He just ran past the Chaos Orb.
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs, just so you guys understand.
So in Path of Exile, the devs are these evil guys, and they talk about feeling the weight, and they effectively just drop tons and tons of items, and you have to know what to pick up. So what GGG have done, the people who make the game, they've made this system called loot filters, which gets rid of 90 to 95, even in some cases, like we're talking 98% of all loot that drops, because otherwise your screen is just cluttered. And you won't even notice when you get a good drop. It's unfathomable for someone to be in the top ranks without a loot filter. Yet Elon Musk, the god gamer, he doesn't play with a loot filter. The only thing Elon does pick up are maps, because the default in-game loot filter highlights those. Those things are worthless. The actual items of value that he should be picking up, that he would have had to pick up.
Did he repeatedly try picking up the same item while being full inventory? Like, he just clicks it and is like, wait, why isn't it working? What?
Anyone who's been playing the game and is a complete expert, we're talking he's cleared thousands of maps. He's been playing that character for hundreds of hours. He's going to be pretty damn good at, playing the character. He gets to the boss, he's fighting the boss, and I want to say for about 10 seconds, he sits there and he's out of mana.
Yeah.
Mana is a resource in this game where you need it in order to use your abilities. He just sits there, default attacking the boss without activating his mana flask. Anyone who's played the game and understands the character would understand, like, oh, I'm not doing any damage because I'm out of mana. Elon Musk takes 10 seconds. He then goes on to loot items off the ground. He starts dragging them into his bag. Like, I don't even know how to describe to you how painful that is to anyone who actually plays the game. And his bags are full, and he just keeps clicking it.
This is the equivalent of giving an iPhone to your, like, senile grandparent, and there's like, what is it? What is there?
And over and over and over again, nobody, not even people who are kind of noobs at the game. I don't even think Elon Musk has done the campaign, honestly. Like, just based on what I'm seeing in terms of the gameplay. His settings on the map transparency are turned on by default. His life values are turned on. All these basic settings that anyone in the top 100 would do, he is not doing. Maps can effectively have different content on them, and that content will be signified by icons on the map. So it could be a map which has an expedition in it, a breach in it, or it could be corrupted. Elon starts looking through the atlas, and he finds a map with, I kid you not, 4 things on it.
There are 4 things there. So this one has a real risk of
4 things. What are those things?
God, dude. 4 things. It's 4 things, dude.
This one
Dude, you
has
are
a real risk
not
of
this
that.
far in the game and calling it 4 things. Stop, bro. Dude, stop. Oh my god.
There's no way, man.
Surely can't.
He then goes on to say, I kid you.
This is max difficulty on hardcore. If there's a way to get higher difficulty, I don't know what it is, but this is everything maxed out.
You would know what it is. I mean, how would you not know that? You were playing the game for like thousands of hours. Surely, yeah. I guess it doesn't exist then.
Has boss fights and end-game bosses, which are quote-unquote difficult battles, which Elon actually did do in one of his streams where he just went into the end-game boss and died repeatedly to it. Maps are just farming. You go into maps and you farm them for loot and experience. They're not the most difficult battles, and I don't know if he's trying to deceive people watching a stream into thinking that he's doing some insanely hard thing whenever he's literally doing something you do to effectively grind or farm. And if you thought this was bad, I did not even get to the worst part. In Path of Exile, gear has requirements to equip it, but that has nothing to do necessarily with how good it is.
Yep.
For example, one of the most powerful and best items in the game is a level 1 required to equip staff, which is maybe,
There you go.
I think, even the most meta build in the game right
Pillar of the Cage got long quarter stuff.
now. It's super broken, insane damage. And Elon Musk starts going over his gear.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade league. You cannot even buy it. Insane weapon.
These affixes are, I'd hate to say perfect, but they might be perfect.
Just the PvPS. I don't know how similar this is to Diablo, but like if you have like the best thing with perfect affixes, like you almost can't sell it, or like you almost can't buy it, because it's like, first of all, like one person in the server has it. Second of all, the price for that would be like, and why would they sell it to you? You know, it's because they roll all of those like affixes and the affixes values, and for all of that to line up and be perfect is like 1 in Gorillion, like literally insane. How would he acquire that? Wait, buy? Oh, wait a minute, with in-game gold, or what other resource for trading does Elon have? Could it be pay them like $10,000 or like a ton to get the best staff in the game?
Not only does Elon have a staff that you can't even buy. This is the funniest shit he has ever done.
True. Yeah, pretending to be good at video games. That's like, there's no better joke for Elon Musk than that.
But it's so good that second best one, which is missing 2 of what makes a staff so powerful for an invoker, which is the crit and crit bonus, is still 20 divines, and that's obviously very expensive.
Here I am, like level 95. But my staff is only level 62.
It's only level 62.
My helmet is level 56.
Int, lightning, and chaos resist. Okay. It's only 56.
Amulet level 61. Ring is only level 48, 49. At least a level 75 jacket.
It's a jacket with 6 things. Yeah, tell us how bad the item that only drops from the highest difficulty of the hardest boss. Just tell us that it's only level 52. Did you find this at level 52? That's impressive.
Level 52 here.
They can only ever be level 52.
But it seems to work pretty well. In softcore, you can get much better.
I just have the best, most cracked, insane gear in the entire game, but it's only level 52, but it seems to work pretty well. Yeah, it's...
Anyone who's played Path of Exile to the end game in a trade league knows that you have to trade in order to obtain what looks like some of the best gear pieces in the entire game. If we look at some of these player accounts, we can see what they have for trade. 700 plus items for sale, right. Multiple divine items. You can see hundreds of divines worth of listed items. This is also someone from the top 10 at rank number 4, Focus here, worth 50 divines alone. This is the number 1 guy. You can see he's hundreds of divines, again, worth of items, multiple mirrors, all these players. If we go to Elon's account,
let's look at Elon's card. Let's look at Paul Allen's account.
He's got only 21 items for sale.
21?
And they're all absolute garbage. It's clear he's really not making much money, or any money at all. So something I did notice last week, I did the same search because I was curious what he might have been selling. And I grabbed the screenshot, which I shared to my Discord, and it's this really, really, really crappy crossbow for 18 divines. So why is it listed for 18 divines, and where did it go? Is it possible he vendored it? Yes. Why was it listed for 18 divines? I don't really know. I don't want to fuel any conspiracy theories, but I have been made aware that RMT, typically they use legitimate listings that are far overpriced, and that is how they mask the transaction as legitimate. So if he were to buy...
RMT, real money trading, by the way. Like he pays someone to buy this or to.
Yeah, why can't I see the preview of
18
this
device
shit?
for
That'd be
$100
crazy.
or whatever. He could have done so through this listing.
And if you needed any more proof that Elon is 100% boosted, he was playing the game today inside of maps, blasting, while simultaneously on a X space talking to like some far right wing part of some German government. I don't know, some political bullshit. Okay, I guess he's just that much of a god gamer.
Oh, Perseverance level 97 died at position 7 on the ladder. He died. Back to the beach, bossos. It takes a special kind of narcissism to be on track to be the first trillionaire, meddling in the governments all over the world, and still be insecure enough to lie about being good at video games. Yeah, because it keeps getting worse for Elon, man. I mean, the guy, how old is Elon Musk? 53.
Bro, how
and that makes
the
sense
fuck
because he would
can
play
I not
video games
find
just as well as my dad would. Well, my dad's like 60 though. He's probably a little bit better than my like technologically incompetent father.
Oh, I found it. Oh. All right, what about the story docs? Oh, why do I have Vosh show up? What a weirdo. And horse fucker. Oh, let's check out this.
Jeremy Corbell has a
Shout out
brand new
Deadit.
series on Tubi called UFO Revolution. You may be watching it. And in episode 2, he has an interview with former
was I just
Congressmember Matt Gaetz, although at the time of the interview, he was a current member of Congress.
Oh, right.
And what he says in this little clip that I'm about to show you is quite astonishing, but also familiar, because you see, Matt Gaetz claims that there are members of Congress who believe that there are alien bases here on Earth, even going so far as to say that he has spoken with former military members who believe there is a hybrid program, meaning alien-human hybrids, right?
Come on.
Let's dig in.
We've seen some patterns emerge that are absolutely a threat to national security, whether this is of human origin or not. Look, we have members of Congress who believe that not only are there extraterrestrials on Earth, but that they have built bases and that they are operating out of bases. I have personally met with people in uniform for the United States military who believe that there are hybrid breeding programs going on right now. Now, I've not seen evidence to suggest that all of those things are accurate, but when those claims arise, I get hot under the collar when we just don't get straight answers.
All right, so it's okay. I think I probably know where, he's getting these ideas of the alien bases. I've heard Danny Sheehan talk about it. Even briefly, Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet. And honestly, a few other people, right, there about there being alien bases, and even some remote viewers who have, pointed that out, right, over time. Specifically, Pat Price, right, that there were 4 underground alien bases, right. Even going so far as, I believe, Jason Sands, who is featured in James Fox's documentary, The Program, right, as well. Now, the hybrid thing is, I'm only hearing that as of late from people like Michael Herrera, who is one of Dr. Stephen Greer's whistleblowers, right? And supposedly even more information is going to come out in the next couple days, but who knows? So, quite fascinating. But Matt Gaetz saying he's seen no evidence of that is really the key point to that clip, right? So they're being told these things, but then shown no evidence, right? or at least evidence that he doesn't deem credible. But he didn't say that. He just said he's seen no evidence, period. So why are they telling them these things if they're not showing them any evidence, right? I don't know. You know, it's kind of fascinating to think that there are members of Congress who have these beliefs, but at the end of the day, I mean, they're human, right? And there's so many people, I would say the majority of human beings on this earth believe in a higher power. So it's not that unusual to believe in, well, an external power, as to say extraterrestrials, right? Meaning that there is life outside this universe, right? But again, the question always gets told in two parts, in my opinion. Are we alone? Yes. I mean, no. Probably not, right? We're probably not alone. But the second question is, have we been visited on Earth, right? And are they here, right? I guess a third part to that. But, you know, have they come to Earth, right? And that's where it gets tricky and murky, right? But who knows, right? This is interesting. And again, it's featured in Jeremy Corbell's new show, UFO Revolution, on Tubi. Go check it out. You can find it now. It's streaming. You can watch it for free. If you're outside of the United States, you are going to need a VPN to watch it, but easy enough to do. There's 3 episodes in season 2. You can catch up on season 1 if you haven't seen that. And yeah, check it out.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Ah, fuck. What did I just... Oh, I think I have to reset that. Damn it. Is that the YouTube browser? Refresh. Oh, come on. Did we lose it? Oh, no. We got it. All right. There we go. Wait. Oh, there we go.
How will the world know when China is about to invade Taiwan? Believe it or not, there's actually going to be some indicators. And it's not just going to be the obvious.
I didn't see that you were back. I said that I was streaming from United States, Massachusetts. Where are you from? Are you from the US? Because all my other followers are literally from Europe for some reason. I just don't. It's just been like completely organic. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to put something together. Because before, I was streaming, like multi-streaming for Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And then I stopped because I was getting like Twitch, I get some views and followers and stuff like that, but dude, my YouTube, I got 0. But now that I've been exporting the videos and it's not live streams, it's been I've been getting actual some views on them. So I don't know. I was gonna try to like set up. I think I'm gonna try to set up Instagram Live too. See if I can get that going. I mean, I might as well, right? Try to do. But then I heard somebody talking about multi-streaming and how the bad part about it is that you're separating your audience as opposed to having them all come to one place with one revenue stream. You got them split up, coming from different places that earn different amounts of money, but I mean, I'm not making any money right now. It's actually probably costing me money to do this because the only way I can actually make any money right now Obviously, I don't have enough followers or anything to like be a Twitch partner or affiliate yet. So I just have that tipping link, but I don't even know if that works. And honestly, I don't really care about getting tipped when I have this little amount of followers.
Stuff like troop movements and military exercises and the violation of Taiwanese airspace. I'm talking about less obvious stuff that you wouldn't normally see. Initially, someone asked me this question through email because they just read my novel, The Wind Machine, which is about a hedge fund manager whose supercomputer detects a possible limited nuclear exchange with China. And one of my viewers read the book and they asked me, in your novel, The Wind Machine, you said one signal that an invasion of Taiwan is going to happen is mass blood drives throughout the country. As an American living in Taiwan, I was wondering if there's any other signals I should look for. Now, this novel is available on Kindle paperback and on audiobook for Marines if you want to read it. But while doing the research for this book, one of the things I found is that culturally, Chinese don't donate blood.
I gotta take a picture.
The rate is like 12 out of 1,000 people. In America, it's like 30 out of 1,000. And blood drives in China could be an indicator that war is coming. But there are some other things that you might not notice unless you're actually looking for them. So let's get started. Commodities would be the first thing. Stockpiling commodities. We're talking food, fuel, raw materials, basically anything that can be embargoed. And that actually became a scene in my book, The Wind Machine, where China imports American canned ham like crazy. And they even have cooking competition shows where people try to make delicious recipes for canned ham. So if we see China slowly start to import more long-term commodities like rice, wheat, and yes, even canned ham, that could be an indicator. You also might see sudden restrictions on Chinese exports of strategic goods like rare earth minerals. Now, rare earth minerals are necessary for things like LED displays, touchscreens, magnets, radars. This is all the stuff that goes into American weapon systems. Just recently, the US had to shut down F-35 production because Chinese rare earths were found in a magnet. And that's a big deal because if deterrence fails and war comes, that supply will get cut off. Now, another thing related to rare earths might be China's increased influence over American energy and environmental policy. China loves influencing American energy policy. They want everyone in America to put up windmills and use Chinese rare earths in order to power the electric motors on those windmills. Now, if you're some dude living in Wyoming and there's a mining company that comes to your town mining for rare earths and you don't want them tearing up the streets of your quaint little town, how easy would it be for you to accept foreign money to run an environmental campaign? Right? Pretty easy. Yeah, you might get the mine blocked and you're happy that your town isn't going to be corrupted by these gigantic excavators moving through it, but China gets another customer of their rare earths, meaning America. So that might be another indicator. We see environmental groups we've never even heard of suddenly pop up out of nowhere and start demanding that we divest from mining or from fossil fuels. Another indicator would be a crackdown on VPN usage within China. And yes, I'm about to give you a commercial for PIA VPN, but it is topic. You know, I travel a lot. When I do, I always bring protect. PIA agents access.
God damn, bro. Holy shit.
McBeth. Here's the deal. An internet service provider can detect that you're using a VPN. Although they can't figure out what you're sending and receiving, they know that you're using one. And China bans VPN usage unless it's licensed in a certain way, but it's really not enforced for expatriates and tourists. But if that starts getting enforced for expatriates and tourists, that's a good indicator that war might be coming. Another thing you'll also see is China divesting from the global market. You'll slowly start to see China selling U.S. Treasury bills. They'll also most likely buy more gold. You might also see China stop funding infrastructure programs like some of the ports and railways they've built in developing countries under the Belt and Road Initiative. Another thing you might see is an emphasis on SIPs over SWIFT. Now, there's a number of ways to move money around the world, and the SWIFT banking system is one of those ways. You may have heard of SWIFT back when Russia invaded Ukraine. Some Russian banks were cut off from the SWIFT banking system. Now, SWIFT is really a standardized secure messaging system. It doesn't exactly transfer money. It doesn't hold money. You can still move money without SWIFT if you use like a phone call or an email or a fax. Now, in 2014, Russia rapidly developed an alternative secure messaging system called System for Transfer of Financial Messages, or SPFS, back when Western countries threatened to cut Russia off from the SWIFT transaction system after their invasion and annexation of Crimea. And some Russian banks use SPFS to conduct transfer messages within Russia and with some foreign countries. Now, in 2015, the People's Bank of China created a system called SIPS, or Cross-Border Interbank Payment System. This system is mainly used internally within China and with affiliates of Chinese banks in foreign countries, but another indicator of invasion is that you might actually see China start to insist that if you want to do business in China, you must go through a bank that uses SIPS. Finally, one of the things that you'll see is the spread of disinformation and kinetic effects regarding China and Taiwan. You know, there is a reason TikTok was created. It is a weapon system focused on infodom war, or information domain warfare. Now, as of me writing this, TikTok must be sold by January 19th, 2025 due to a federal law. As of December 12th, 2024, a federal court ruled that TikTok's appeal of their sale was denied. So TikTok might not be a factor going forward. But here's the funny thing. In the US, we have freedom of speech, and the government can't compel us to support our own country. A good example of this is Tenet Media, where popular YouTubers were paid by Russia to espouse either pro-Russia or anti-Ukraine talking points. Now, Russia has a history of doing this. During the Cold War, Russia helped fund the peace movement. It also helped fund anti-nuclear movements, and even the whole theory of nuclear winter was funded to essentially scare the West into abandoning or reducing their deployment of nuclear weapons, specifically the Pershing II. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that China would do this as well. Remember a few minutes ago when I talked about China funding environmental organizations? Well, China could fund US and European-based peace activists and environmentalists create content talking about colonialism and imperialism and the military-industrial complex wanting war, and how China has always embraced Taiwan as their own.
Oh,
so
fuck,
if you
did I have
start
that up
hearing
the whole
people
time?
talk about the military-industrial complex and how it's evil, they're probably being funded by someone who wants you to think that war benefits big corporations as opposed to war benefiting China. So China could use this stuff for actual kinetic effects as well. Back on November 3rd, 2023, an organization called Arab Resource Organizing Center, or AROC, convinced a bunch of weak-minded college students to glue themselves to the MV Cape Orlando, a U.S. Ready Reserve merchant vessel. So AROC organized through Instagram and TikTok. They organized a real-world kinetic action with boots on the ground through these services. This goes beyond freedom of speech, and it goes into a genuine kinetic effector that stopped the movement of a U.S. naval asset. So once we start seeing U.S. college students protesting U.S. imperialism and the military-industrial complex just wants to get rich off of Taiwan, once we start seeing internet celebrities talk about how we don't need to be involved in endless wars in Asia, that's a pretty good indicator that China is getting ready to invade.
Yeah.
So those are some of the less obvious indicators to watch.
It's going to be a very
if China
interesting
is
year,
preparing
I have
invade
to
Taiwan.
say.
Blood drives, stockpiling commodities, rare earth restrictions, VPN crackdowns, divestments from global markets.
Hey, so where are you from? I'm from Massachusetts in the U.S.
And of course, disinformation campaigns. But here's the kicker. These signs aren't going to happen in isolation. All right? It's not going to be a single blood drive. It's not going to be a one random environmental group popping up. It's going to be a combination of these factors playing out over time. The question is not just if China will invade Taiwan. They will. And it's most likely going to be in 2027, in either October or April, because there's a weather window for the Straits of Taiwan. Or if they're smart, they'll invade in October of 2028 while the U.S. is having their presidential election. And until that moment comes, the signs are going to be there if you're paying attention. I'm not saying you should panic, but understand the broader geopolitical picture can help you stay informed whether you're living in Taiwan, investing in global markets, or just trying to make sense of the world. And if you found this breakdown useful, or you just want to know more about the kind of research that goes into analyzing situations like this, check out my novel, The Wind Machine. It's fiction, but it goes over a couple of scenarios that might not be as far-fetched as you think they seem. You can also head over to Bunker Brand and get one of my Alcoholics Moving Cargo t-shirts. I also have a few.
All right. Shout out to Ryan McBeth. M-E. Me? Oh, Maryland? Wait. Maine? What does that mean? Maine? How do I not know this? Okay. That's embarrassing. M-E. Maine. No, Michigan's M-I, right? Maine. Maine. M-E. Maine. How did they figure out the abbreviations to that? Like each state. I don't think I could spell Massachusetts if I tried. I'm pretty sure we're the longest state name. Massachutt. I don't know. Lived here my whole life. Mass. Oh, okay. Maine, though? Is that what ME means? Ow, my freaking... Dude, Jesse Michaels just been dropping shit constantly lately. Oh, dude, 2.5
And as
hours?
we turn left on the, not a hard left, just a...
Hold on. I want to just see the night of the incident. Getting in the car, close up encounter, catastrophic state, aftermath, out of body. Jesus Christ. Oh, you live in Germany. See, that's what I'm saying, man. It's so weird. I don't know why. It's like my stream only gets shown to people in Europe. Because my number one viewer is this guy named The Big Guy, 19,999. And he's from the Netherlands, I think. Yeah. Another guy's from Romania, I think, or something. That's crazy. How old are you, if you don't mind saying? I'm 36. There, I'm just gonna throw like one of these. Oh, I might as well just play. This is too long. Maybe we'll do that another stream. We gotta do something. Oh god, dude, this fucking Jason Sands guy is not. Clear white. Oh, what's that? Professor Simon's awesome. It's fucking AI.
So
Man,
that
they
was a
would-
reconstruction of the US Air Force retrieving a crashed UFO. The question is it real?
Let's chat on Discord later. We can talk about it. I should be done pretty soon. I'm just I don't know. I'm getting into this painting really good. The rules for this painting are that I can only do it on stream. So yeah, I'm just trying to, because I can't stop thinking about this painting. So I'm really trying to get a lot done while I'm on stream, because when I'm off stream, I'm just gonna be staring at this freaking thing. But I should be off pretty soon. What am I at? Yeah, I'm almost at 2 hours right now, so um I'll probably call it at 2 hours. That's usually about how long I'll stream for, like max. I've gone longer than that a couple times, but 2 hours seems to be like my brain just like knows when that hits. It's actually really weird, because I can't tell you how many times I've been ready to stop, and I look down and it's literally switches to like an hour 59 minutes. But yeah, I'm at an hour 53 right now. But yeah, he did accept. I just talked with him a little bit a little while ago. Thank you for referring me to him. I'm gonna he sent me some stuff to look over, so I'm gonna look over that and see what he has to say. But thank you. No promises though. Like, I'm a very careful person. All right. Oh, my forehead is
Well,
itching
Ross
my ass off.
Coulthard from News Nation has interviewed a US helicopter pilot who tells the story of retrieving a crashed UFO. This is very interesting.
Oh yeah. How long? Apparently tomorrow, this interview, and from whatever, like I said yesterday, it seems like um disclosure is coming like out like this year for sure. But I think the first processes of it are happening this weekend. I think something big is coming out this weekend with like relation to like UAPs and stuff like that, because multiple different channels have said shit like that in the past like week. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And Trump's gonna be in office too, so it's like he said he'd freaking look into the drone thing, which I think is also part of the UAP thing. So he said we'd find out the day after he's in office. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited.
Have you known this secret about unidentified anomalous phenomena, being of non-human origin.
For more than 10 years, we did recover things that were exotic in nature in the sky, and we know they were classified craft. And we recovered them and took them back to where they go.
Now that is clearly technology that is certainly not known.
I got within 150 feet of this object.
We are not alone.
We are not alone.
I have no idea if that particular UFO retrieval case is true. What is true is space recovery.
Jesus.
So you might well ask, how do I know that? Well, over many years researching the Rendlesham Forest UFO incident, we came across a hidden detail, a squadron based in Suffolk, England, that recovered things from space. You all know that the Rendlesham Forest incident took place between two US Air Force NATO bases, Bentwaters and a lesser-known base called Woodbridge, in the forest in between, called Rendlesham Forest, in December 1980. Now, Bentwaters has been talked about a lot. It's a NATO frontline base, possibly with nuclear missiles and fighter planes. But what happened
That's why it was there.
Woodbridge? For me, as a filmmaker and researcher, the former RAF base called Woodbridge has lots of secrets. One of Woodbridge's best claims to fame is that it was a FIDO base. This is FIDO, burning gasoline down the edge of the runway to lift the fog for damaged or lost planes during World War II for a safe place to land. RAF Woodbridge has a lot of fascinating history. Possibly it stored nuclear weapons during the Cold War totally secretly. But the one piece of information that intrigued me during the Rendlesham Forest investigation was that US Air Force 67th, or Space Recovery, based at Woodbridge. Now, I'm sure that the 67th at Woodbridge did not go out every night and bring back flying saucers to the hangar, but this comes from the squadron's website. Their mission statement: they were in charge, the go-to squadron, to recover anything that fell out of the sky or space in the North Atlantic and Europe. Using a range of heavy lift helicopters and transport aircraft, they were the ones to bring stuff back. During NASA's Apollo program, the 67th, based at Woodbridge, trained to recover the Apollo command module if it had landed by accident in the North Atlantic or even somewhere over Europe. And of course, in any accident when airframe needed recovering, they had the kit to bring it home. So did they recover UFOs? Who knows? But we do know that the commander of the 67th, based at Woodbridge during the Rendlesham Forest incident, did recover something during that incident. Commander Charles Wicker has said that something was recovered out of Rendlesham Forest. And we've heard from US Air Force service people that the runway lights were damaged when a helicopter from the 67th was carrying something on wires underneath it and it hit the lights. What was it recovering? So, does the US Department of Defense have teams based all over the world to recover things crashed from space? Undoubtedly.
Ooh. Well, yeah, but it could be like stuff from like
what exactly they recovered and where they were taken. Hopefully, we will soon find out. The truth needs to be out there.
Damn, Professor Simon. Oh. Oh. Man, that's a dope outro. That's almost as cool as my outro. My outro's a little cooler now. Oh, shit.
Is this on? Hello?
Uh-oh. What did he do?
see
right,
more
1
of the
second.
chicken.
I gotta do something off camera for a sec. I'm gonna mute it so I
You
don't get
Hefner's
fucking
hat.
banned or something.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Take a guess. Friday, 5:30 a.m. Now I'm just sitting here waiting for McDonald's to open so I can get a cup of coffee and an egg sandwich. And then scan through the old email, back from, I guess it's vacation. It was like a week and a half or 2 weeks away. Didn't feel like vacation. It felt like I was in a sanitation, funny farm, the booby hatch, recovering. I didn't really do much vacationing. The first, I forget how long we were gone, almost 2 weeks. So for the first 3 days gone, I was asleep for all but like 10 or 11 of those 72 hours. Because leading up to it, I was running on, 5, 6, 7 hours of sleep per week, which I'm now back to. We got to fix this. So I'm trying to finish up the sponsor ad with the pickles and the chicken. Scanning through the email, which I never really get to anymore. Oh, look, it's an email from my accountant. That's never good news. I was going to say never good news when my lawyer reaches out, but Will is different. Will's cool. But usually you don't want to hear from these folks. You want to do the outreach to them. You don't want your lawyers and attorneys saying, "Hey, here's the email. I hope you're both doing well," to me and Jen. "We wanted to inform you that we've recently received a notice from the IRS indicating that your 2022 tax return has been selected for an audit. Rest assured, we will be handling all communications with the IRS on your behalf and managing the audit process from our end. Please note we'll be charging hourly for the time assisting with the audit, except from our monthly retainer, of course. Of course. Selected for an audit. I've joked about that for a couple of years when people have said, are you afraid? Topics you cover. Am I recording? My lights are even on. Is anything on? I'll find out when it's
sounds
done.
like me,
Are you
dude.
afraid? And the answer is usually no. Especially when the channel gets, if there's a million people watching and I vanish, like I literally vanish and no one can reach Jen or Victoria or Gina or any of the people that someone's going to sniff around and ask a question or two. Like, what happened to these folks? They all went fishing in Lake Mead in the middle of the night together that night on a party boat with Natalie Wood or whatever. It would be suspicious. So I don't really worry too much about it. And I really don't think I'm all that important, that I'm in that much danger.
Unless you
There have been a couple of episodes that have concerned me that, not that I would, have a bomb in my car, but episodes where I felt like,
I wouldn't have said
you
that.
might get a phone call.
I wouldn't have said
Might get a phone
that.
call from like special agent in charge saying, we need to cool it with some of these things. There have been a couple of those episodes. And there have been two that I didn't even want to release. I had a sponsor commitment. They're like, "No, we really want you to really attack the government aggressively." Okay.
Oh.
But for the most part, I don't really worry about it. But what I have said that I worry about, that I fear more than an assassination attempt or some, trumped up charges. It has become an ironic statement at this point. Trumped up charges, not really worried about that. What I fear is the IRS.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they can make your life hell. They can make a mess of things. And I think I've said this on the show, but there's only one crime in America that has more stricter, more intense punishment than murder, and that's tax evasion. So yeah. So I don't worry about CIA, FBI, rogue cops, none of it. I worry about the IRS. And all of my fears have come to fruition. I don't know. I've never been through an audit. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, what do they do? I've never been through an audit either.
I'm assuming it's going to be fine. I mean, it's not like I'm working in a cash business anymore, like I did at some point. Probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah, what?
When they're auditing your
What are you
books, probably
talking about,
shouldn't even
bro?
imply that you've been hinky with your taxes, which I haven't been. I'm above board.
Is he
What I'm
live right
saying
now?
is, whatever they're I don't even really see the money. It goes
Why
from
did he
YouTube
even
into the bank
release
account,
this?
and then
Oh, this is from a month ago?
I pay my bills, and then Jen will buy a bag, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't really see any money.
All right. Yeah. That was a weird video. Oh. Let's check this out.
You know, it's interesting. So, like, the
I'm gonna have
angels,
I'm gonna have to do so much work on fucking inscription after
different
this.
types of angels. I've talked about this in videos before, but like, there's different types of angels as explained in the Bible, but we're never given clarification as to like, is this different forms angels can take, or do they always exist as this one kind of thing? Who knows, right? But there are different forms they take. And the way I see it is that God always knew what was needed for the scenario. When an angel comes to speak to Gideon, to tell him he needs to lead an army, he comes to this young boy as a man, appearing as a human, telling him, several times in the Bible, they have to tell people they're angels. They appear and they say, oh, I'm an angel, because it's not readily apparent. They appear as the form of a man. So sometimes it's that, and sometimes
Other times you get the be not afraid.
Sometimes, like in the book of Ezekiel, when he has the visions as he describes wheels upon wheels of fire with eyes, and the noise they made sounded as thunder and rumbling mountains.
Bro.
Sometimes it's like that. Whatever the scenario is needed is what appears. So is this the forms angels can take, or these different kind? Who knows? But what's fascinating about that...
Well, it's also, you're like, hey, Jesus, what's up? I'm just trying to talk to you. Hey, what the fuck? What? No, hey, calm down, bro. I'm just an angel, just floating here. Got my angel wings, got my eyes.
I can't remember.
Chilling out.
I can't remember what it was. It might have been supernatural.
That guy.
It might have been supernatural or something, but it was like, there's a reason. The first thing we ever say is be not afraid.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
man. You sound like Castile when you said that.
Dean, I found a liquor store and I drank it. I don't believe the babysitter loves the pizza man.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to hear.
He does sound like
hear like a Wendigoon episode. Like, what's fascinating about that? I'm getting a live episode right now.
Cody's like, shut up.
I'm interested in this.
What's fascinating about that, Cody, is that in the Bible, so it's like God always knew the tool that was needed for the job, right? Sometimes a show of power, sometimes a show of love, stuff like that, right? Sometimes somewhere in between, like the heavenly host, like a series of angels singing angelic, both powerful but comforting, stuff like that, right? What's fascinating about that is if the angels can take on these forms, if they have these, and if the way that Lucifer exists is he decided to rival God and was cast out of hell, and it says a third of the angels fell with him, then what do they look like? What forms can they take on? They're no longer connected to the divinity of God. They no longer have unlimited dominion, as described by the prophets, but they do have some power. Like I said, Pharaoh's sorcerers could perform miracles, and they got those abilities from somewhere. So what does this bastardized, broken piece of divinity look like when it wants to put power over people? Could sometimes they appear as people? Yeah. Could sometimes they appear as something a little less or a little different than people? Yeah. And in my mind, that's...
They were jealous of human. They were jealous of us, like mortality as a whole. Were they jealous of our look?
Was it demons, or was it like was it Satan himself was jealous of humanity?
Well, so to finish that thought real quick, I like maybe a lot of these stories we have, like I said, the monster in the closet, maybe a lot of that comes from them, what they used to look like, what they used to behave. Now, the thing around like the jealousy of the devil and stuff like that, a lot of that isn't expressly biblical. A lot of that comes from scholars' beliefs that came afterwards. The Catholic Church has its own like iconography and lore based around like the early saints and the early popes and stuff like that. But I'm not Catholic and I don't really subscribe to a lot of their beliefs. Sure, some of the stuff they said I think was wise, but on a whole, I've got a lot of issues with it, which, duh. But I've expressed it before on the channel. Not a big fan of the.
I love
the
how you
office or
like so
whatever.
casually throw out a sentence that like would have gotten you fucking burned at the stake.
Oh, I would have been executed like 500 years ago. Yeah, easily.
He's
For
a
several
witch.
things.
Drowned him.
Yeah.
If he floats, he's a knot.
Wow, do you remember how Joan of Arc ended up? That was super cool.
Pretty much.
She was human.
Oops.
Aw.
Yeah. If they're dead, they're cool. Yeah, that's how it went most of the time. But a lot of it comes from like not expressly Catholic, but people had stories after. So a lot of our modern characterization of Lucifer comes from a lot of paganism that a lot of the time wasn't like expressly satanic, but in our hindsight, we've kind of ascribed it to be. Figures like Baphomet, for example, aren't expressly religious or satanic, but because it's like the image of the goat's head or whatnot and sacrifice, people like tie the two together in their memory.
Lucifer, how many times is Lucifer mentioned in the Bible? His name, how many times?
I think it's just once. Yeah. Lucifer the
One
morning.
time.
It's describing him as Lucifer the morning star.
Yeah.
Because he was
One
described
time.
as the most beautiful in all of heaven. Yeah.
Most people don't even know that. It is one time Lucifer's name was cited in the
actually,
isn't
the
like
Bible.
isn't Baphomet like barely biblical? Like, is that like
no, actually not biblical. So like, if I recall, there's
Humans are weird. We're like, what, have you ever heard of fucking demon goat Satan?
Yeah.
That one was definitely
Now that
mentioned.
being
Like, no.
said, there is a lot of demons mentioned by name
References.
in the Bible. There's like, well, again, I'm kind of ascribing the belief a lot of these lesser gods or false gods were demons in effect. So with that in mind, there's Baal, there's Dagon, there's Moloch, stuff like that, which there's debate around if Moloch actually was real or not, but that's a whole nother topic.
God, I could listen to you.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
I'm like,
Keep going.
I'm almost there.
But he's gonna talk.
And
Here,
drop
back,
a tear.
this is back to you.
Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, C tier. Anyways.
Good old yes
I'm
tier.
on my way up, man. Damn.
I'll keep adding letters. We'll keep going. I'll make some up after that. Yeah.
All right, so G tier Brandon.
So like with a lot of these stories around like demonology and whatnot, a lot of it's subscribed by stuff that came after. So like people ascribed a lot of paganism to demonology. Like one of the reasons Lucifer specifically is depicted as like or I guess I shouldn't say Lucifer, the devil is depicted as he is because of a lot of stories around paganism and whatnot. So like as the devil is described in the Bible, which for one, by the way, he's never called the devil in the Bible. The word demon is never used in the Bible. Demon's a Greek word. It came afterwards. It describes the fallen angels, which is what they're called. The word demons came later, comes off the word demos or all that.
Oh, so they're
and
called
Lucifer
fallen
is
angels.
described as Satan, which means the opponent. He's described as Lucifer. He's described as the accursed one, stuff like that. But he's never, like, the word for demons is devils or spirits or stuff like that, stuff along those lines.
Oh.
So the reason that now we see the devil as like the figure with like goat hooves and horns and all that stuff, it comes from a lot of paganism. Like there was a lot of early church beliefs, specifically Catholic like beliefs within the church when they saw pagans worshiping like figures of Baphomet or making idols to him, they ascribed it to demonology, and kind of the two kind of started to twist together or meld together.
That a lot. And that's not even for the bad stuff. It is for the positive stuff. The Yule log, anything like that.
Yeah.
Like the burning, Christmas, things like that. It was from paganism, and they adopted those for a more natural progression for, hey, we are adopting Christianity. We are adopting Catholicism. Hey, how do we do that? This is the easiest way.
Yeah,
is using what they're already known, or what these people or these little areas are known for. We're going to adapt that into our own ideologies and then let that flourish.
Yeah. There's a lot of combination, melding, stuff like that. It wasn't always like expressly evil. As a matter of fact, most of it wasn't even intentional. It was just like the figureheads that were seen. And like I explained earlier, with a lot of the Old Testament imagery being of if these false gods could be considered demons, which considering a lot of them involve child sacrifice, I'm kind of cool with saying yeah, probably. So like you have these false gods.
It was widely regarded as a bad move.
Like you have all these false gods that can perform miracles and demand like blood sacrifices, so people assume those to be demons. Those took on the form of animal. Dagon was a sort of fish. Baal was a sort of ox. So in a way, it's almost kind of serendipitous that the eventual symbol of the devil was that of like the goat's head, with the horns and stuff like that. It's kind of like history correcting itself down the line years later. But a lot of our descriptions of like what you said, like he was jealous, he wanted that comes from a lot of early members of the church and stories they told. So for the big one, the one that's had the biggest impact on the devil in modern culture, other than like paganism making the goat head imagery and all that, other than that, one of the biggest symbols that changed how we view Lucifer was Paradise Lost, which was written by John Milton, which I made a whole video going into that spiel or whatever. But Milton's theory...
G-Man here, right over Brandon's face. Over G tier. Oh, fuck you.
We skipped a lot there.
Brings me into one of my biggest questions. What is the difference between like the Bible Lucifer, Bible devil, versus what people picture the devil to be now?
So, in the Bible, the devil.
Well, you know, you think of the devil, and you know, but like between like what the Bible actually says and what
biblically versus actual.
So in the Bible, when the devil is mentioned, when he's discussed, it is the opponent, right? Which is the best way to describe him. One of the verses, I believe it was Paul, who described him as the prince of the air, talking about that he has dominion over this world. This world is sin tainted, and therefore he has control over it, which is the reason we experience death, problems, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Sin.
Yeah. World not perfect all the time. You get that. So the devil is responsible for those things in that he introduced sin to the world, but it was our choice to partake in sin. It was not forced upon us. We accepted it. By free will, we chose to bite of the apple. We chose to enact our free will in both good and bad ways. So the devil's objective in the world is not to be a scary face you see in the dark at night. It's not to be a predator that gets you killed as quick as he can to just like slaughtering people or whatnot. Is that an end effect of it? Sure. But really, the devil's objective is to just turn you away from God. Now, is the better way of doing that being evil, being awful, or is it giving people what they need outside of him? So a lot of times, as it's shown in the Old Testament and New Testament, the devil isn't someone who just slaughters, kills randomly. He gives riches. Like I mentioned, Pharaoh, rich man who has all this magic, all these powers that was given to his sorcerers and whatnot. He gives them exactly what they need, because as long as they don't need God, then he's won. That's what he has. The devil knows how the book ends. He knows the prophecies. He knows that according to scriptures that one day he'll be defeated by the archangel Michael. Sin will be no more. It will all be over.
So then why fight?
Because he can take as many people with him as he can in that amount of time. He knows it's a losing battle, but he can make other people lose as well.
Communism, Nick. That's
Jesus
the new age. It's taking a new form too.
Why are you're trying to upset me right now?
I wanted to get you heated so that it's relatable. Because it's taking a new form. It's the exact same thing. It's like, how do I...
I'm mad.
Pull as many people as
I'm
possible.
mad at how much sense that made, actually.
So what basically, like, the modern depiction of the devil is as, like, I mean, you could call it a cryptid almost, right? Something violent, something that wants to kill you, run your car off the road, stuff like that.
Title of the episode.
There you are, standing in a bread line.
Ooh. You live in a country that doesn't like vowels.
They got like 7 layers deeper than it needed to.
Poland, Hungary. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Look what you've done, Eli. You've derailed everything. Yeah, we finally got back on track. Okay, back on track. No, I was learning. You fucked it up. Now we're here.
I was at the end of that tangent anyway. Basically, the main difference is that the devil's goal is not to be evil. It's that to be a provider, just one that is away from God, something to point you in a different direction. The Antichrist, for example, is mentioned in Revelation, is not a figure. I mean, by cause and effect he is, but he's not a figure that directly brings death or chaos into the world. It says in the end times he's the one who unites the world. He's a leader that the people love and will do whatever he says. He's not expressly evil. He's just a different direction than that of returning to the Creator, than that of salvation. Because ultimately, like if you look across the entire Bible, really the whole of Christianity, the point is that we were made to be companions with God. In the Garden of Eden, God walked and talked with us every day. We were his friends. He wanted us, he gave us free will because to have that companionship, to have that closeness, and we chose to separate ourselves from that. So then rather than being cast out from rather than God smiting us and starting over, he says, all right, you get a second chance. You have this life, you can do whatever you want with it, and throughout your life, you can choose to turn away from me or turn back towards me. And if at the end of your life you've chosen to turn back towards me, then we'll be together again. The reunion of the spirit, the reunion in the air. It's in that way, death to a Christian is not like something to be feared. Of course, it's something to mourn, we miss loved ones, but in actuality, it's a return to what we were meant for. That's the beauty of it. So all Satan can do is make sure that doesn't happen, to point us back the other direction. So that's effectively his goal in this life. He knows how the story ends. He can just have a say in where we end up in that. Or really, he can give us the tools to give us the say. We still have the free will of choosing which way we go, either that be with God or with the opponent, so to speak.
Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. Where are we at? God damn, we're almost at 2.5 hours. All right, I think I'm gonna call it since I put this all. I got to this point. I think that looks pretty sick so far. Kind of hard to tell on camera, obviously. But yeah, we are working at it every day, baby. So, all right. I think I'll be back on later today with a gaming stream. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, I think I'll be on later today to do a Path of Exile stream. Yeah, I'm actually gonna throw my my Xbox handle in the description too, because if you want to add me on Xbox, you can too. But that being said, I think that's gonna end it for stream number 56. And I hope you all have an awesome day, wherever you may be. Day, night. All right, enjoy the outro.